This was the man that I really loved, and all of a sudden, you know, bit by bit by bit, the core of him is going, so that, you know, now there's barely a slither of him that I recognise. There's the odd little flash, and it's really, really cruel.
She said, "Are there other people like me?" Now, of course there are, but the GP had never referred her.
There's no griping or arguing, there's no politics, it's just friendship at its best.
And Derek also likes to chat to Mark, my husband, so that's good to have somebody to come into the house to, you know, break the monotony of just my voice.
We've had the project for 2.5 years, and we set the project up initially to provide volunteer support to adult carers.
It's such a small thing for some, you know, for volunteers to be able to have to do, but it means such a big thing to the carer just to have someone visit them and say, "How are you?" You know, they can't get out sometimes, they're isolated, they're lonely.
There is an organisation called Devon Carers. Our side of it, and we're very clear about that, is to provide the volunteer support behind the professional support.
Carers were saying to me, "Oh, I'd love to shop online, but I don't know how to turn a computer on. I've got one, don't know how to use it." And I had volunteers who have IT skills.
In those ways, you see them just, life opens up, it kind of frees them from the restrictions of the everyday routines that they're in, because caring is such an intense role.
They're providing an essential service, really, as far as we're concerned, and that's why we've been pleased to help them secure funding in the past and given them a grant.
As an organisation, want to be able to provide consistent support to carers regardless of what happens at a statutory level.
I like to think when Thursday comes, yes, Mark's coming this afternoon and we can have some more fun. Yes, I appreciate him very much, what he's done for me.
My wife's been diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's, and we were at a session teaching us about Alzheimer's, and someone came along to say that there was this organisation that offered carers support in their caring role. I was offered the support but felt I didn't need it, and rhetorically I thought, well, I could actually help out. There's things I could do, kind of a sort of pay it forward type thing. I might need help in the future, why don't I do something now? One
of the things that we've had through the volunteering fund over the last 2.5 years is incredible infrastructure support, and they've provided us with fundraising support, all kinds of consultancy and things like that, which has been really helpful and has helped us to think about how we want to organise ourselves going forward.
Unite is doing so well, and it's such a well-run organisation that it's probably in still a strong position, as it occupies a niche in terms of carers, to secure grant funding.
To my mind, writing a funding application is not different to writing any other kind of business proposal or sales letter or anything like that. This is why, to a certain extent, I keep confusing sales and funding. To me, they're the same thing.
The individuals that and the structure that is employed by Unite to support the volunteers, it varies, but they have been quite creative in morphing the different posts to match the funding that is available without suffering from any kind of a mission drift where that focus chases the money.
Apart from being trustees, we're all volunteers as well, some more than others. But all our trustees are active as well, which is really important.
Unite has been very lucky. They've had very motivated trustees and very motivated chair of trustees who have managed to fulfil that role. It is asking quite a lot of a chair. Every trustee in every charity gives a lot. I think if you also ask the chair to act as a manager, then you're lucky if you can find somebody.
So we've very much taken the approach that all our projects have to stand on their own, and they have to be really well thought out in terms of really well costed, and they also have to provide a contribution towards the overheads of the organisation.
And the funding that it takes to sustain that level of engagement, it needs to be a paid post. Volunteers aren't free. The work that volunteers give generously comes at limited cost, and that cost is paying for their support.
Lara does a really sterling job in advertising and recruiting and training and, you know, retaining really our volunteers and then matching them with the gaps within the organisation.
I carry out regular reviews with the carers and feedback what they're saying about that, and with the volunteers also. But you know, meeting the carers' needs is very important, and the reason we did the validation questionnaire was to find out if we are providing what carers want.
Behind all of that is a lot of Phil driving us, and then the rest of the trustees supporting him with that.
It's very important to build relationships with funders, and what that means is that you have to do what you say you're going to do in your application to them. You have to let them know what exactly you have done, and you have to be very good at writing to them and keeping them informed. And it is building up a relationship so that they appreciate you as an organisation who will deliver what they want. We identified how much money we need to fund it over the next year, and we wrote funding applications to about half a dozen different organisations, and I'm really pleased to say that we have had really good positive support from 3 funders who have given us everything that we need to keep the funding going in the project going in the next year.
And it's been wonderful. We've got general carer support groups now being run by the volunteers that we initially trained and recruited for the EF project.
In Mid Devon, which is the area that we cover, there are probably something like 8,000 carers. So far, we are only scratching the surface. We have about 1,000 carers registered with us.
Now that word is getting out that we're offering this befriending support, I'm getting more and more carers that are saying yes, that they would like it.
So it's a project that it was a great start for us, but we're really just at the beginning of it. And the volunteering funds helped us to set it up, but we're determined that we're going to carry on with it.